Tariffs are a tax hike on foreign countries that, again, have been ripping us off. Tariffs are a tax cut for the American people.
Some products that are made foreign might be more expensive, but American products will get cheaper, and that's the point.
We need people to really come out and support, our small businesses here in Lexington.
Archa 9, a Thai restaurant, has been in Lexington for almost 9 years, offering a mix of authentic and casual dining experience. On Thursday, the restaurant posted on Facebook about the threat of tariffs and concerns about how it could drastically affect its cost. Thailand is facing a 36% tariff set to take effect in July.
We've seen like 5 to 15% increase already in everything. Meats, for example, has already gone up like 60%.
Most of its ingredients come from Thailand to keep dishes authentic, but with tariffs threatening to disrupt that, the restaurant is considering in-house solutions.
We also talk about, making our own ingredients in-house. For example, the curry paste that's gone up, quite a lot.
The restaurant has began buying in bulk to make sure they have essentials for the next 6 months, but even that adds up.
Having people come out to support our business is not just for the business, it's for our staff. Keeping everybody in the industry employed is the most important thing for us here at Archa 9 and our friends' restaurant as well.
I just had to refuse an order from my wholesaler in UK because what I didn't realize about tariffs was that I would not be charged for where they were shipped from. I would be charged for where they were made. 145% tariffs cost more than the order plus the shipping. I couldn't do it. I would be operating at a loss. So two of my top selling items come from that wholesaler. I can't have them in my shop anymore because I can't afford to sell them.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yeah, well...
Would you look at that?
Yeah, there's a few more blemishes on the car.
Oh my gosh, just look at it.
Hello guys, and welcome to the Joy Report. In today's video, we're going to talk about Trump supporting small business owners who are now struggling as tariffs destroy their profits. Once again, we are witnessing a classic FAFO moment. Small business owners across America, many of whom proudly backed Trump, are now on the verge of shutting their doors for good. These were the same people who cheered for tariffs, believed in economic nationalism, and thought they were finally getting a president who understood business. But now, reality is knocking and is demanding payment. Their profits are drying up. Their debts are piling up. And for some, a GoFundMe page is the only thing keeping their businesses alive. This is what happens when politics becomes personal, when people vote based on slogans instead of policy. And now, they're regretting it. If this is the kind of content you enjoy, please consider subscribing, liking and sharing so that YouTube may recommend it to a wider audience. And so now, without further ado guys, let's go straight into this video. But first, let me play you a few videos on this matter and I'll come back with my commentary. As a side note, all credit goes to the creators of these videos.
Yeah, I voted for Trump. Absolutely. Did I know he was going to increase the tariffs? Yes, I did. However, I thought that the infrastructure would be set up prior for small business to come back to America and manufacture.
Why did you think that? What possible evidence could you have based that thought on?
I literally can't stay in business unless I raise my prices. Probably like around the end of this week. I don't even know when to do it, but with all of the tariffs on everything imported from China and everywhere else, I just feel like I don't even know how to move forward at this point. Some of my items are made in China, like a lot of my new pouches, and I literally just went through the whole process of developing all of these. I even have a second order of these in production right now that the tariffs are going to apply to. So they're already made, and now I either have to pay extra to get them shipped to me or lose all of the money I already invested in getting them made. And then a lot of my products are made in Korea and India, and those may or may not ship in the next 90 days. And if they ship after that, then they'll have extra tariffs on them as well. That all sucks so bad. And I do have some products made in the US, but I can't just switch my manufacturing for these sorts of products here. It just wouldn't work. Like, what do you even do in this situation? Having this go into effect overnight is insane. I just want everybody to know that, like, I don't want to do this. So
I wanted an estimate as to how much it was going to cost to have all of our Wisdom of Poo products shipped to me here in the United States. By freight, which is by ship, it would cost about $3,600. Yeah. Plus $95,550 in tariffs. Did you catch that? $95,550 in tariffs. $3,600 for shipping, $95,000 in tariffs.
My name is TJ Samanchin, and we import coffee from farmers from around the world. And right now, I'm facing that all the coffee that we import is going to get hit with a tariff. I think the thing I want to underscore, there's been a lot of words shared, a lot of personal stories shared, but that we here, as small businesses, we are on the front line of these tariffs. We are the ones who are paying it. I had to go to my bank and ask for an additional line of credit just to finance the tariff tax. We are the ones who need to come up with the money, and if we can't come up with the money, and like in Beth's case, our product is at risk. So everything that we buy is now at least 10% more, and I don't know, we have countries that we buy from that are on the reciprocal tariff list. And so I don't even know what the cost of some of my product is going to be that's going to be shipping to me pretty soon. And so I got into coffee because of relationships with farmers I have in Latin America and Africa, that our supply chains are very personal to us. There are real people on the other end of this supply chain. These are relationships I've developed over 2 decades in the coffee industry. These are complex supply chains, and we are at risk of disrupting that. And these are things we can't just change overnight. I think anyone who knows about business, about importing, international trade, any of that would know this, that these are the simple rules of business, that they are depending on relationships that take months and years to develop. And we are at risk of losing those relationships. So I also want to just share with my colleagues up here and asking for support for small businesses.
Many small business owners believe that tariffs were a way to punish China or other foreign countries. What they didn't realize is that tariffs are taxes on American importers, not on the foreign countries themselves. It's not China paying the price. It's the small hardware store offering goods from China. It's the boutique owner importing fabrics. It's the farmer who needs specialized equipment made overseas. And when these tariffs hit, the bill goes straight to the American side. The result? Prices go up, profit margins shrink, and the very same people who thought they were protecting American business are now struggling to survive. Faced with higher costs, these small business owners only have 2 choices: raise their prices significantly or eat the losses. And let's be honest, most small businesses don't have the power or influence to pass those costs on to their customers without losing sales. If they raise prices, customers go elsewhere. If they keep prices the same, they operate at a loss. So many are now taking out loans just to keep things running, not to expand, not to grow, just to pay off the tariff costs. Some are even using credit cards to cover orders. It's a financial debt spiral, and many are barely hanging on. Now, it's gotten so bad that small business owners are turning to crowdfunding. GoFundMe pages are popping up all over, begging the public to help them survive. Imagine that. People who once praised Trump as a businessman, people who claimed they didn't need government help, are now pleading with strangers on the internet to help them pay rent and stock shelves. These are the same folks who used to say, "I built this on my own." But now, they're realizing how fragile their businesses were when based on false promises and faulty economic policies.
We've run into a small problem, maybe a large one, depending on how you look at it. The tariffs have affected Harmony, and we have run out of our packaging for our full-size 100 ml bottles for the vanilla collection and the main house collection. For reference, this is the vanilla collection, and this is our main house collection, both of which can fit in this container rather easily. And we can definitely put, something in here to secure this, some foam or some bubble wrap, different things to make sure that your package arrives safely and your bottle is unaffected in delivery. I'm wondering if you guys would be okay with us continuing to send out our full sizes. If we were also going to discount orders, maybe we'll mark down the whole website. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. We've found a new supplier, and we should be getting everything within the next 45 days. I know that's probably a long time to wait, but we still have to continue to pay the bills, and we still have to continue moving forward. And we have a lot of things planned for this summer, and we can't let this become a wrench in our plans.
And let's not pretend nobody saw this coming. Black communities, Democrats and economic experts warned them. They said from the beginning that Trump's trade wars would backfire, that tariffs would hurt everyday Americans far more than any foreign country. But the warnings were ignored. Some people were too busy chanting slogans and waving flags to listen. They believed they were sticking it to China, when in reality, they were stabbing their own businesses in the back. And now, it's hard not to say, "We told you so," because the truth is, they were warned. Many small business owners were one-issue voters. They cared about taxes or immigration, or simply didn't want to vote for a Democrat. They saw Trump as a fellow entrepreneur, someone who would look out for them. But now, they're learning the hard way that being a businessman and being a president are two very different things. Trump's trade was once strategic. They were chaotic. And while large corporations had the resources to adjust, small businesses didn't. So the very people who are supposed to benefit from Trump's policies are the ones being crushed by them. Once these businesses close, it's not just the business owner who suffers. Employees lose their jobs. Local communities lose services. Customers lose their favorite shops. It's a chain reaction, all caused by blind loyalty and poor economic planning. The so-called Main Street revival is fading, and all that's left are empty storefronts and broken promises. This is more than just an economic issue. It's a political awakening. Some of Trump's most loyal supporters are now seeing the cracks. They're realizing that all the talk of America First did include their business, that their struggles are not being acknowledged, that no real help is coming. They're beginning to see that they were used for votes and applause. But when bills come due, nobody was there to help them pay. And now, regret is sinking in. But here's the irony. Even now, some are still trying to blame everyone else, but the truth is clear. The tariffs were put in place by the president they voted for, and the collapse of their businesses is a direct result of policies they once cheered for. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but one they must accept if they ever want to move forward.
The tariffs got my ass. I hand make paper to put into leather journals. This is my station back here where I make the paper, and I get my leather from all over the world, and that is how the tariffs got me. This is my shipment right now, and I was like, what do you mean an outstanding balance? And it updates, and we've got the tariffs. So I need to pay an extra $149 on just this order, y'all. I have about 5 other orders out. I do buy leather from America, but all the colors that you see here that are so rich and beautiful and have a pull-up effect, I get from Italy, China, India, Poland, so many places that are not in the United States. There are a few other American brands that I do like, but to be honest, I don't even know where they source their leather from. It could be the USA, could be from somewhere else out of the country. My favorite type of leather has this pull-up effect where you scrunch it and it turns into this lighter purple or lighter blue that's within the leather, and you can't really find a lot of those in the United States, and if you can, they're really kind of expensive. You just have more options overseas. Like this orange here is from America and it just doesn't have the pull-up effect that I would like it to have. I'm glad that I built my business on recycled paper and making things by hand, which of course I live in the United States, but there are a lot of things that I use on my books that come from China because it is inexpensive there, and I wouldn't know where to find them in the United States. So I don't know, what would you guys do as a business owner? Would you eat the cost? I'm definitely gonna have to go over my numbers because I don't want to raise prices, but this is starting to look a little bit expensive.
So what's next for these struggling small business owners? Some will fight on, others will close shop. A few may even finally realize that political choices have real-world consequences. Maybe they'll listen next time. Maybe they'll think beyond the slogans, because this was avoidable, this was preventable. And yet, here we are, watching them lose everything they built because they believed in a fantasy. The warning signs weren't hidden. They were loud and clear. Black voters raised concerns early. Democrats pointed out the dangers, but too many small business owners refused to listen. They didn't believe the facts. They believed the hype. And now, the cost of that belief is being paid in bankruptcies, foreclosures, and GoFundMe campaigns. It's not just politics, it's people's lives falling apart.
The tariffs came down to 30%! Yay! That still sucks, by the way. That sucks for any small business owner. I think it's called anchoring, when you come in and you have something really awful, like 145% tariff, and then you bring it down significantly to 30, and we should all be super grateful. It's still gonna cost me $48,000 more than this shipment would have cost me 2 months ago. It's still awful. It still hurts my business.
And let this be a lesson, not just for Americans, but for voters everywhere. Understand the policies behind the promises. Look at the fine print. Don't assume just because someone claims to be a businessman, they'll be good for business. Because what's happening to these small business owners is a tragic example of what happens when people vote against their own interests. In the end, this is one of the clearest FAFO moments. Small business owners for Trump thought they were making a smart choice, but now they're watching their dreams crumble under the weight of tariffs and poor economic planning. They were warned, they were told, but they didn't listen. And now, the consequences are real.
What Trump supporters do not understand is that there will not be a point of change. There will not be a point where everything suddenly makes sense or is suddenly worth it. There will not be a point where the pain that you endured, the hardship, the anxieties, the frustrations, the schisms, all of that suddenly becomes worth it because Trump reveals a master plan at hand. Because there is no master plan.
So what do you all think about this situation? Do you feel sorry for these small business owners? Or do you think this is the price of blind loyalty? Why do you think people ignored the warnings when the evidence was so clear? And do you believe this will change how people vote in the future? Or will they just find someone else to blame? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video about black folks reacting to Trump bringing in Afrikaners from South Africa as refugees. And if you enjoy such kind of videos, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel. But for now, thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, the Joy Report out.